So you just have anybody that saw that, you can press OK for the recording. So we're recording this so that we can share with other people and make sure that, they get some information that they might not already know. So again, my name is Coach Noah. I'm with the Lightning Warriors Youth Triathlon team. So if anybody wants some more training for get ready for some of your races, please feel free to call me or reach out to me. You probably got an email from me, or from Event Power. So does everybody know why they're on the call today? Can anybody tell us? Declan, go, you guys could all unmute if you want, unless it's really noisy over there.
Um,
Go ahead, Declan. Why are you on the call today?
Trying to learn some things about the triathlon.
Yes, okay, very good. So Emma, the question is, why are you on the call today? And we're just gonna share with why people. I hope everybody here that's on the call is doing the race on Sunday. Is that true? Does that
Yeah.
sound right? Good. If you're not doing the race on Sunday, just let me know and maybe we'll do something else, all right? But Sunday is the race for triathlon. So the race on Sunday is a triathlon. Anybody know what a triathlon is? John?
Yeah.
Oh no, Emma, how about you, Emma?
It's like a sporting event where there's like swimming, biking, and running.
Yes. So all in one day, right? It
Yeah.
shouldn't take you for your races, it shouldn't take you more than a
When
half
are
an
we
hour.
doing it? When are
Sunday.
we doing it?
All right, so here we're going to start off with making sure that you're fueled properly for race day. And that starts not on race day, but before race day. All right. So just making sure that I invited Coach Stacy to talk about what you should eat, what you maybe shouldn't eat, some of the things that you might have not realized you shouldn't eat to prepare for your race. And so before we can do that, let's get a survey of what do you think is a good dinner before race day? John, what are you gonna eat before on Saturday night, or even before that?
Mm, maybe something like healthy.
I hope so. I hope so. I hope it's healthy. Yes, yes. Make sure it's
I
healthy.
love that.
Yes,
You can't
healthy
get
is a
into
good way.
trouble with that answer.
And we'll go into detail what healthy is good, but there's combinations of healthy that is better for race day. All right. Declan, what are you gonna eat?
Um, uh, like vegetables, fruits.
Okay, good. That's a good start. Caleb, or I apologize for maybe saying your name wrong. You Ra, and then whoever's iPhone, and then 917-817. If you want to chime in and say what you've been planning for dinner.
I don't know.
Is that Jack? I can't tell if it's Jack on
Yeah.
the iPhone. Okay.
Yeah, it's Jack.
So Jack, what are you gonna eat for dinner?
Pasta with butter.
Butter. Okay. Go ahead, Declan. What do you want?
Carbs.
Carbs.
Yes. Good. Very good. Very good.
I
Emily,
can't.
you know what you're gonna eat for dinner?
Pasta.
Pasta. Good. How about you, Caleb?
Um, pasta, rice.
Pasta, more pasta.
Oh, nice.
You
Okay.
you you route or the 917-817-3877.
Hey, no,
Nothing.
this is Anders. I'm the 917 number.
Oh,
I'm
so
just,
Anders, what are you
I'm
gonna be? What are you gonna eat? So we got Coach Anders here. What is
Hi,
Coach Anders
Anders.
gonna eat?
Hey, Stacy, how are you?
Hey, I'm great.
What's Coach Anders gonna eat for Saturday night to prepare for the race day?
So, Abigail, we always do white rice, steamed carrots, and a little plain chicken.
Yes, that's the go-to one. All right. So let's go on to what Coach Stacy might recommend, and for you all to think about as you prepare for other races going forward. All right. There's not necessarily any right or wrong, but if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Coach Stacy or myself, and we'll help you out in terms of nutrition or on anything else on race day. All right. All right. Go ahead, Coach Stacy. Sorry.
Yeah, hi you guys. So I just want to introduce myself. I'm Coach Stacy. I'm a certified nutritionist, which is someone who went to school to learn about how to fuel your body to have it give you the best output, right? So we want to know what we put into our bodies. How is that going to help us do our best in our swim, bike, and run triathlons, right? So if we put good things into our bodies that we
Oh, she
can
froze
use
up.
really easily, then that'll be a really smooth process to just keep going without a stomach ache, right? Because you want to make sure you eat foods that your body tolerates really well. So what does that mean, right? We don't know. So let's talk about that. The best way to plan out any meal, and this is for you guys as athletes, but also for your parents, because most of you have your parents preparing a dinner for you, right? You guys aren't in the kitchen yet. So if your parents are in the room, they should probably listen up a little bit, or you could share this with them after, or they could hear the recording. But to make any meal complete, which means it covers all of your needs, you need to have 4 different things. So the 4 different things are proteins, which we're going to talk about, carbs or carbohydrates, which some of you guys put that word out there, healthy fats. One sec, Declan, let me get to the 4, and then I want to hear what you have to say. Healthy fats, and then fruits and vegetables, colorful fruits and vegetables, because they all have vitamins in them. Okay, so what did you want to ask, Declan?
I was just gonna say that I mentioned carbs.
Yes,
You did mention carbs, and I know that. So I wanted to know, I have a note to ask you that. What do you think a carb is?
Um,
What does
uh,
that word mean? Do you know? If
um,
you don't know, it's okay. I can tell you.
No, we're gonna quiz
yeah.
him later. We're gonna quiz all you later.
So let's start right there because I think that's the most important thing when you guys are getting ready for a race day. And we call this race week, not race day. This is race week. So what you do this week adds up to how healthy your body is so that you can perform really well on race day. Okay? So a carb is a food that gives you energy. So if you guys even have a pen or pencil, you want to write this down. Carbohydrate is energy food. So what do you need to do your triathlon? Besides a bike and, your goggles and your run shoes, you need energy, right? Okay, so that's why we need carbohydrates. That's the most important thing for race day. The second thing we need is protein, which is what we use to keep our muscles really healthy and our brains functioning also. So, what would be an example of a protein? Emma, would you be able to guess something?
Eggs.
Yeah, great, great, perfect. Absolutely right. So a protein is something that comes from combined amino acids, which all that means is that it's a string of nutrients that give your muscles a lot of strength. So that could be chicken, it could be beans, it could be eggs, it could be a hamburger, it could be fish, all those types of things. So when Coach Andrew said that he has chicken, right? That's the protein part of his pre-race meal. You guys should be including a protein every single time you have a meal. So if you were to have a sandwich and you had a turkey sandwich, the turkey would be the protein in the sandwich. Does that make sense? Okay, we go back to the carb, which is the energy food. The bread would be the carbohydrate. And then say we wanted to add some healthy fat to that, maybe we would add some avocado, right? And if we wanted to add some colorful fruits or vegetables, maybe we'd have some berries on the side or some tomato on the sandwich, but we would combine all 4 of those things. Hello. Okay, so those are the 4 components. So now we start thinking about how do we plan the best meal the night before the race for dinner, right? So now you start thinking about what are your favorite things. So a carb might be pasta. So if we started with pasta, what could we add to that to add protein? Does anybody have a guess? Emma, I think you're muted if you're trying to talk. Nope. Emma, unmute yourself. And what would you add as a protein
Oh,
to our
chicken.
pasta?
Chicken.
Chicken, exactly. And then maybe we would add some fruit or vegetables. And then maybe we would add some healthy fat, maybe a little bit of cheese or a little butter or olive oil on the pasta. So it's really simple to combine it. The best thing I can teach you guys is to take a piece of paper and draw a big circle as if that's your dinner plate or your lunch plate. And then you divide it into 4 sections, just draw 2 lines and write in each box, each quarter of that plate, what you would like to combine to make a meal that would taste really good to you. Okay? So that's a good exercise to do with your parents, and we can, we can always walk through that together. But it's really important to make sure that you don't think of just eating healthy and only eating one of the healthy things, right? So you don't want to eat just chicken. You want to make sure you have the carbohydrate for energy with it, the fruit or the vegetable, and the healthy fat. Okay? So that's the way to create a meal. So now we talk about, let's go back to race week, right? Because we're not just talking about the night before. Race week, we want to be doing this all week long, but we also want to pay attention to what we're drinking. So talk to me, guys. Who pays attention to what they're drinking? Jacqueline, what do you like to drink to be a good athlete?
I just drink plain water.
Great. So water is excellent. That's a great choice. It's better than sugary drinks or soda, right? Or any of those types of things.
Or like fizz water. Fizz water maybe.
Okay, that's fine. That's good. Does anybody drink anything else besides water?
Maybe seltzer.
That's fine. You know what seltzer is. It's just water with bubbles and some little bit of sodium in it. So it's basically the same thing. Does anybody ever drink something that has electrolytes in it? Like Gatorade?
No.
Have you guys heard the word Gatorade?
Yeah, I drink Gatorade.
Good. So that's really good because that gives you a little bit
like it.
more. That gives you a little bit more vitamins and minerals. So when you get to race day, your cells have all the potassium and you don't get cramps and things like that. So I want you guys to make sure that you pay attention on race week to what you drink and make sure you drink enough so that you need to have to go to the bathroom a couple times a day, like at least 3 or 4 times a day. If you guys are not going to the bathroom and releasing fluids 3 to 4 times a day, you need to drink a little bit more. So that's always a really good way for kids to know how much they need to drink. Because each day, some days we work out more, we sweat more. So it's hard to know the exact amount. But like if you have a bottle like this, I would suggest for most of you, you should be drinking about 4 of those, somewhere like that. Yes? What would you like to ask?
Jacqueline, you had a question?
Jacqueline?
Drink vitamin water. It tastes really good and also has some vitamins in it.
That's right. It's why they call it vitamin water. So that's a great, great choice. Make sure parents, when you buy vitamin water, that it's okay to get the vitamin water with sugar. Because if you get the zero, they have chemicals and artificial sweeteners in them, and that's not great for the kids. So
Yeah, that's what we get.
we can function through some sugar because sugar is actually a carbohydrate that gives us energy. So make sure you don't buy Gatorade or vitamin water or any of those things that are sugar-free, zeros. Does that make sense?
So we should have a little sugar?
Yep.
Yay, finally.
Now, let me
You
ask you this. Let me ask you this. Do you guys believe that sugar comes in good ways and in ways that aren't so useful?
Yes, that's true.
Okay, thank you. So, if you were to eat applesauce, right? That tastes pretty sweet, right, kids? Applesauce tastes sweet. There is natural sugar from the apple in that called fructose. Like fruit, it comes from fruit, it's called fructose. So that's a really good sugar to have. If you were going to have some jelly beans, is that the same healthy kind of sugar?
No.
So you would think that the applesauce might be better for you, even though it's still sugar, if you were comparing that to the jelly beans, right? Good.
Yeah.
So you want to have some sugar, but you want to make the best choices that you can. Okay? All right. So this is race week. So what I want you guys to do is talk with your parents and say, I need to have my meals, have my carbohydrates, right? Pasta, rice, potatoes, bread, right? And we also need to have our protein like chicken and fish and beans and maybe tofu if you like that. Who's got a question? You have something you want to say right away? Go ahead, Jacqueline.
Actually, Today's not my race week. September is.
Oh, you're preparing for
Okay.
September? Okay, good.
Yeah,
Well,
so
guess
I have
what?
I have a long time.
All right.
Guess what? There is no time like this week. I think you should practice this every week because you're training every week, right?
Yeah, I'm doing bike riding every day, and I'm usually like just running around my block.
Okay. So, kids, what I
Every
want you
day in
guys
the
to
woods.
learn as young triathletes, what's important to learn as young triathletes is that you should take care of your body every day the same way, whether or not you're racing or not, because you are exercising and you're asking your body to put out energy. What?
Jo-
Um,
John, you have a question?
yeah. When you have like dinner or something, is like is orange juice like good for it? Like when you have dinner?
Yep. So let me ask you a question. I love your question, and I'm going to ask you a follow-up question, and I bet you're going to answer your own question. So if we had those four components on our plate that we were just talking about, if you had orange juice, would that be a protein, a carb, a healthy fat, or a fruit and vegetable?
Um,
What is an orange?
fruit.
Right. So there's your answer. So if you have that as part of your dinner, you're adding the fruit to it. So that's perfect.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
Good question. Okay, so now let's move forward. Now that we know the things that our bodies need, right? Now we have to think about how often do we eat during a day? How many of you guys have 3 meals a day? Raise your hand. You eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Great, good. How many of you on this Zoom call have snacks during the day? Raise your hand.
During school.
Okay, so you have that
During
snack
school.
you guys have that snack after breakfast before lunch, right? Is that correct? At school? Okay. When you come home from school, before you go to one of your activities, do you have a snack then because you're hungry between lunch and dinner? Who wants to answer? Jacqueline, what do you have in your afternoon snack after school?
Uh, Banana and you can put some peanut butter on it.
You're
That's
hired.
yeah.
You could be my assistant. Okay, so let's talk about why that is such. How many of you guys like bananas and peanut butter or think you might like that?
Me.
Great. Or how
3
many of you
people.
might like pretzels and peanut butter?
Hmm.
Or who might like an apple and a string cheese and maybe a couple of crackers? These are all really great combinations because they follow the exact thing I'm talking about. You're getting all the parts. You're getting the carbohydrate, the protein, and the fat and the fruit, right? Fruit and vegetables. So I want you guys to know you guys are growing bodies, right? So it's a long time between breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So those snacks are really important. So make sure when you have your snacks, you choose something that gives your body a benefit, just like that banana and peanut butter, or yogurt and an apple, something like that. Okay, we can provide you guys with healthy snack lists also that you can choose from, and you can come up with a couple of things that when your parents go shopping, you can say, Mom and Dad, could you get this for snacks this week? Jacqueline.
Is it okay if you have like yogurt and honey? Would that be okay?
Well, so
And
the
then some
yogurt,
apples?
mhm,
Like that would be okay?
that would be fantastic. Anybody have another suggestion that what might be a really healthy snack? You guys can have a half of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Go ahead,
You can have
John.
a half of a turkey sandwich. You can have, what,
John.
John?
Uh, pretzels with peanut butter and like apple slices.
Mhm. Perfect.
A
So
lot
if
of
you
peanut
guys
butter.
if you guys go along those lines, you're in fantastic shape to be really healthy triathletes, okay? So I want you guys to know that I don't want you guys just only focusing on this on the night before, the day before your race. Coach Noah and I want, and all your coaches want you guys to be healthy every day of the week. It doesn't mean you can't have, a treat and some cookies, But as long as you get the requirements in, the things that keep you healthy, then the treats are just that, they're extra, right? But if we think that cookies are a really healthy snack without having the other things, then we're not going to perform that well. Declan?
What are the 4 things that you should have? Protein, carb, fat, and what?
What would be like an orange or carrots
Fruit.
or fruits or
Fruit,
vegetables? Right. So I like to say colorful fruits and vegetables because that helps us remember that we don't want to just always eat the same fruit or vegetable. We want to try different ones. So maybe we would have, grapes and maybe we would have red peppers that day. Or maybe we'd have a banana and maybe some zucchini, like different colors, because that gives you different vitamins. Okay, so does everybody have that understanding of what you need to have at each meal and try to get to at snacks? Good. And does everybody understand that how much they need to drink and how you know if you've drank enough during the day?
No.
Perfect.
I'm going to data and times.
Hey, Amanda. You had a question? Okay. Does anybody have a question?
Hi, sorry, I joined late. Can you just give a quick refresher on what you
Hey,
just said?
yeah, no, I have this recorded, so I'll send it out in another email after it's done. That's okay.
Oh, okay, great. Thanks.
Okay, fantastic. I think you guys are in good shape. So let's just talk about one last part because Sunday is race day, right? So what are we going to do when we wake up in the morning before we get ready to go to the race? What do you think you should do? John.
Maybe do like a quick little stretch.
Yeah, that's great. But let's talk about what we should put in our bodies because I'm talking to you about nutrition. So now, what would you think would be really good to do in the morning when you wake up on race day?
I think on the morning you said like simple carbs that burn quickly.
Exactly. Exactly. So you want to have some toast or some cereal or some waffles and maybe some applesauce or maybe a banana, something really simple like that. Okay?
Who's gonna have like a steak sandwich in Sunday morning? Anybody? No?
Who's gonna have
Good.
pizza?
Yeah. Yeah,
Who's gonna
something
have toast with peanut butter and a banana?
good.
All right, I think you guys got it. What do you think, Noah? Did we have anything
Something
else we should
simple.
cover?
What should you eat after?
I think toasters should have like protein and like chocolate milk.
I love that. Now, most of the race directors are going to provide you guys with a snack after the race, right? And often it'll be like little granola bars or bananas. So what typically what's at the race is usually a really healthy refuel after the race, and we want you guys to enjoy it. So it always tastes good. But it's a great idea to bring, if you're not sure, it's a great idea to bring some chocolate milk or a protein bar or a granola bar or another banana and peanut butter. So you get some protein in. If you're not sure what's going to be there, it's good to have backup with you. But don't forget, you're using your muscles when you do the race, right? So you want to have the protein after the race so that you get that into your muscles and they don't take too long to recover. And what about drinking? Should we drink anything after the race? Yes?
Go ahead, Amanda.
You should drink a lot of water and sometimes what do you call it? Where you put it in a drink and mix it, it's
Electrolytes.
hydrates you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Perfect. So parents, I mean, this is the one that I've been using and the kids seem to love it. It's called Ultima, Ultima. And it's a powder of electrolytes. It's like energy, and you put it in your water bottle, and they come in flavors the kids really love. So this one is watermelon. So that's on Amazon. It's just a good thing to keep in your arsenal. Okay?
Does everybody have like a water bottle that they're gonna bring with them? Does everybody have a water bottle that they could fit on their bike? Well, most of the kids here have a shorter race. Um, if you're doing the longer distance one, you might want to have some water on your bicycle. But definitely have water when you get to your transition.
Right.
So you could take a sip before you get into the after you do with the swim, and then maybe if you need one, you could do it when you get back from the bike. But there's going to be, I believe, two water stations on the run course where you can grab some water too. And it might be a little bit warm that day. It says about 62 right now, but it might be warmer. So definitely take some time to, when you see that water station on the run course, to take a cup and take a sip if you want, right? Or splash on yourself to cool down. But that's kind of some of the tips in terms of the hydration for on the course. All right. So keep that in mind. Anybody have any questions about nutrition? We good?
Good.
Anybody? No questions? Parents, any questions? All right. So thank you very much,
Great.
Stacy.
Oh, it was my pleasure, you guys. Have a great race and have an enjoyable time and make sure that you smile for the cameras, okay?
Yes, definitely smile for the cameras. So now I'm going to talk about the race itself and just getting prepared for it. So let me switch. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay. So everybody see the Zoom? I hope. Okay. So let me start with the schedule. All right. So the schedule, typically your race is going to be 7:10. All right. So at 7:10, you have to be in before 7 o'clock, around 7 o'clock. You want to be in the pool, and I'll show you where the pool is when you get there. But before that, you can go to transition at 6 o'clock in the morning. Who thinks it's a good idea to get there early? Anybody? Any reasons why you should get there early? John, go ahead.
So like you could put your bike on the bike rack like close to your number so you know like where it is.
Yeah. Emma, why do you want to get there early or?
Yeah, I have a question. Um, is the high school race the same time as the adult race?
Yes, the high school race. So we'll go over the distances in a moment, all right? And what time you're going to do. Your race is going to be with the adults, which is a little bit later on. Hold on. Which is going to be the I'm sorry. It's going to be 8:10 when you start. Okay. But remember, transition closes at a certain time too. So transition is going to probably close around 7 o'clock, 7:15 for you, so that when they do the youth race, it's clear for the adult for the kids to go through the transition area. All right. I always suggest going early because it gets a little hectic. Sometimes you forget things. So you want to make sure you're giving yourself enough time to go to the bathroom, possibly. Have a little snack if you need to, and just get yourself calmed down before the race because a lot of things going on during race time. All right. So when your parents come there, I want to show you where parking is. Okay. So parking is going to be in lot 6, which you enter on Park Boulevard, and it's over here in parking lot 6. I don't know. I hope you could see that. The race course itself is in this building right here. See where it says Northwell Center? It's this building where it says Nassau Aquatic Center, right? And this building over here, if you could see that circle part, I'm circling right now, is
Yeah.
where thank you, is where the pool is going to be for the race. So if I'm zooming in on it, that's where the pool is. Parking lot's over here, over parking lot 6.
We're gonna have to walk a mile.
No, it's not that far. It's only like 500 feet.
Oh,
It
okay.
looks far. It's not that far.
All right.
All right. Don't worry about you walking. You could use that as a warm up. How about that? Okay. So when you
Okay.
park over here, you could bring your bike down. This is part of the bike course, and you can park down. And then transition area right here. There's a bathroom over here in this section over here, and then there's a tree line, and then you'll see the trapeze section over here, and the main pool is over here. But the pool that you're swimming in is called the I forgot what it's called. Yeah, I think it's some kind of
It's
patriotic
the Freedom
name.
Pool.
Freedom Pool. Thank you very much. So right now you're going to go. So the different distances for the pool. Just get that for you. Pull that up. Okay. So does everybody know which distance they're doing in terms of their length of the pool, the swim? So in the youth race has a 100-meter swim. And keep in mind that 100-meter swim is one lane out and one lane back. Okay, so when you swim, oh no, not popping up. Okay, hold on for a second. Okay, good. Let me see if the map is over here. Okay, so when you swim, actually the swim part is going to be closer to the it's going to be closer to this part of the pool on this side of the wall. And when you run out, you're going to be running out of the pool this way over here, where you see that blue section over here. There's going to be a door there, and you're going to run out this way and come around. And you see that dirt path? You're going to run on that dirt path and then into transition next to these trees right here. Okay? Anybody have any questions on that? I don't know if I could see. I put your let me see, hold on.
Can we leave any like shoes outside so we can?
Okay, so there's yeah. So the question is if you can leave shoes outside the pool area. So the reason is because you want to use your shoes to go to transition. Is that the reason why?
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, it can be rocky at the same time. The majority of the kids, I would say, don't have any shoes. They'll just run on the dirt over here and into transition. You could put down shoes over there. It does take time to put the shoes on. Just keep that in mind. So the overall goal is probably try to do, is this going to be your first race?
Uh,
Have you done a race
no.
before? I'm
Yeah.
sorry. This is your first,
No,
this is
I've
your,
done it before. We've done it before.
you've done it before. Okay, good. So depending on what your goals are, some of the kids might just run past their shoes to get to transition, to get on their bike. If you're going to do that, you should probably have two pairs of shoes just in case. One shoe to get to the pool, right? And one shoe to make sure that you put on while you're doing the race itself. Does that make sense? Most kids will probably wear flip-flops to the pool deck, and then they'll get out of the shoes. But keep in mind that you're not swimming with your shoes on, so that's something to consider.
Right. Right. Like maybe a flip flop or something.
You can flip-flop, but I wouldn't run in flip-flops if you're going to do that
Mm.
afterwards, after you get out of the pool. So something you could run in if you're going to run from the pool to the transition area. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Some of the thing. Oh, before I forget that, a couple days before prior. Oops. A couple days prior um to the race, you're gonna have to pick up your packet. All right. And inside that packet will have some bib, some numbers, some stickers and numbers. One would be a sticker for your helmet, a sticker for your bicycle right here. You also get another sticker, yeah, and this sticker that's on the bike frame, you could put it on your bike seat. You also have another number. They'll also come with tattoos. So basically, you place your tattoos on your left leg and typically on the right arm. Okay. There's no right or wrong. Just make sure that they're visible when you're on the bicycle or as you're running. Main reason is just for a little bit more safety and keeping track of the pictures and make sure that you can get your pictures as well. Now, the tattoos, if you don't have the tattoos or you forget the tattoos, but what I usually suggest sometimes is before you go to bed, you put the tattoos on so you don't have to worry about rushing in the morning. But if you do it on the morning, just make sure that you have the some wet towels to pat down the tattoos so that you can apply the tattoos to your arm. If it doesn't work out with the tattoos, there's going to be body marking. So the body marking will have somebody will have markers there, and they're usually around right before you get into transition. So this area right here, will have all the bike racks, and you'll see in the beginning there's somebody always there with a magic marker. So when you enter in, um, you can actually get your body marked with magic marker. All right. So all that stuff comes off in the shower, but just keep in mind that if you forget your bib number, I mean your tattoos, don't worry about it. If you forget your bib numbers for whatever reason, um, you just talk to the race director and they'll be able to help you out with that, maybe change numbers or anything like that. Another thing that comes in your packet will be I can't zoom in here. Hold on. On her left ankle, on her left ankle, it's called a timing chip. That timing chip is more important than everything else because it keeps track of your time and splits along the course. So it keeps track of making sure that you have the right time and how fast you did the race. Okay. So first thing is, let me just go over this again. First thing is you get your packet either on, I believe it's on Thursday. Some of you might be opting on to get the packet on the race day. I always try to suggest that if you get it early, it's easier, so you have everything in place. Another thing that you're doing during this week is preparing for the race day. Make sure everything's packed away. One of the things you have to make sure you have is your helmet. You have to have your helmet in order to do the race. They won't let you do the race without a bicycle helmet. Just make sure that when you have your helmet, just fit it right now. Make sure it's not too loose. I always say 2 fingers, a gap maximum between the chin and the strap, just to make sure there's enough room, but it's not too tight, not too loose. You don't want to make sure it's too loose. And it's a good time to take a look, see if the helmet is too small. All right. You want to make sure that the helmet is properly fitted. Second thing this week, you might have some time to make sure your bike is tuned up, making sure that the gears that you're using are being able to shift. You could shift your bicycle chain up and down the chains if needed. You want to make sure the brakes work. So that's important to get that checked out now, not on race day.
Okay.
I'm sorry, go ahead. You had a question? So you want to make sure that your bike is ready to race. And more importantly, you want to make sure that the tires are inflated properly. The brakes are definitely working. And you have your run shoes too. Okay. Let me see what else. Okay, let me see. Hold on. Does anybody have any questions on this so far? Okay. So we talked about what to do for before race day, making sure all the equipment's in place. Oh, and decide what you're gonna wear on race day. So you can wear your swimsuit or your swim jammers for the girls. One piece swimsuit is good. It might be a little bit chilly in the morning, so you might want to bring a jacket, okay, or a shirt. The shirt, you could apply the race bib that goes in front of your shirt. Let me see if this person has one. So right on front of her shirt, right here, is her bib that she pinned to her shirt. All right. Other things that you get is a race belt that where you can apply the bib to, and then when you're running, you could put the belt on. That's something you have to practice with. But I wouldn't worry so much about that. I would say, if you have a shirt, pin your bib to the shirt, and just have that shirt ready to be put on, and then you put on your helmet and then go. But the first thing you want to make sure is don't touch your bike without your helmet. All right. So make sure your helmet is on, snapped, and ready to go. So make sure your helmet's good. So let me go over the course with you. So see the white building right here? That's the pool again. You're going to be running out this side of the pool, which is the east side of the pool, and you're going to run around towards this dirt path. They usually have a mat down, so you don't have to worry about too much rocks. Then you go through there's a little break in the fence, and you go through into transition, okay? Once you go into transition, you can get, before you touch your bike, make sure your helmet's on. Make sure you put your shoes on, your running shoes, if you're using running shoes. Some of you might be wearing bike shoes, but make sure you have some kind of shoes before you bike. And then you bike out. There's going to be a line called bike mount, or usually just the word mount. And it's going to be on this road right here. So if you can see that right around here, you're going to run out with your bike. Make sure you don't ride your bike through transition, but you have to bring your bike out to this road. And right after this line says mount, that will say mount, then you can get on your bike. You can get on your bike anywhere after the mountain line. Okay? Get on the bike anywhere out the mountain line. And then you get to go ride for one loop. Or my older kids, if you're doing the high school division race or the adult division race, you have to do 3 loops. So it's basically, let me start with the kids first. Actually, let me go start with the swim. Make sure we understand what the swim is all about. So with the swim, there's a 100-meter swim pool, okay? A swim for the youngest. There's a 100-meter, 200-meter, 400-meter swim. 100-meter swim means one length down, and then you go under the rope and then come back the other side and then exit the pool. For my 200-meter swim athletes, you go down one, go under the rope, go down back to where you almost started, go under the rope, go back down to the other side, go under the rope, and then go back out, and then exit out on the last lap and last loop length, and then go out.
Uh, sorry to disturb you, but what is 9 and 10s doing?
I'm sorry, say again. So
9.
9-year-old and 10-year-old, you're
Yeah,
gonna have to ask your parents whether they sign you up for the 100-meter swim or 200-meter swim.
thank you.
Okay. So when you just ask them if you sign you up for them. So are you doing swim? Are you on a swim team now?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What was that?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I don't know. You have to ask your mom or dad that which distance that they signed you up for. Okay.
Okay.
Remember, there's a 100-meter swim, 200-meter swim. Okay, so 100-meter swim is out and back. 200-meter swim is out, back, out, back. Then your 400-meter swim, you're basically swimming the entire pool, which is out, back, out, back, out, back, out, and then back. And then you get out of the pool. Is that hopefully that made sense?
Okay,
Any
thank you.
questions on? Okay. Anybody else have questions on that?
Yeah, I have a question. So, during the race, there's like a bunch of people. So, would we be going one by one?
Yes. So it's called a time trial. So first they have someone jump in the pool. Oh, by the way, there's no diving in this pool. Make sure you jump in with your feet first and jump as far as you can, and then you could start swimming. Okay. There's no diving. Supposedly no diving. You're not supposed to dive into the pool. So you're basically doing almost a running start at the beginning of the swim session part of the race. There's going to be a mat there that you cross. Once you cross that line, that timing mat, that starts your time for your race. Okay. When
Oh,
you
okay, thank you.
yeah, and then when you leave, there's going to be I believe there's going to be another a mat that you cross over to say that you got out of the pool. Okay. So there's different places where they have mats where they pick up your times.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Jack.
Is there like a limited amount of time that you have to be underwater until you have to pop your head up to breathe? Or can you like just hold your breath as long as you can?
Okay, that's a good question, and I want to answer it. Does it make sense for you to be underwater? So if in this is not a this is not a swimming competition where you have a diving board, okay? Where you have a starting block, right? So when you have a starting block and you're diving in, you do have a chance to like swim underwater and stay underwater as long as possible. However, in this one, when you're jumping in, you don't have that leverage where you're diving in. So pretty much when you jump in, you pop up and you're gonna have to start swimming. There's no way for you to gain any extra time or speed when you jump in versus diving. Okay, so this is a completely different swim competition portion. Hope that made sense, right? So, granted that if you do a swim competition, for those who are on swim teams, they know that if they stay underwater a little bit longer, and most of it's because um, you can kick off from the starting block. But if you want to, when you when you come up to the end of the lane line and you're coming close to the rope, you could probably if you might not have enough space because there's going to be a lot of kids around you. You might be able to do a flip turn right at that end and flip turn back to the other side. So basically, you do a flip turn on your side, on the side that you're starting off, and then flip turn and kind of basically drift underneath the rope line and pop up on the other side.
Makes sense.
Now, is that easy to do with a lot of kids? You might kick somebody in the face.
Oh, maybe not.
Okay, you might kick somebody in the face. But if you really know that you're really far ahead, then that's something you could do. All right.
Okay.
Hope that made sense.
I need my slips. Yeah.
Okay, so now you have the 100-meter swim, 200-meter swim, 400-meter swim. Just double check you're with your parents which distance you're swimming at. So now we get out of the water, we head towards transition.
I had a question
Okay, go ahead.
for kids or that are wear glasses. Is there a place to keep your eyeglasses somewhere right outside the pool so when you get out of the pool you can put them on?
Yeah, so they should have a table. I will follow up with Vicky, the race director, to make sure that there's a table out there for glasses. Okay. Or, worst case scenario, I would say, it's usually safer to keep the glasses at transition. Are they able to like get from the pool deck, run a little bit towards transition? Sometimes it's just easier to have your glasses in transition. But I will have Vicky make sure that there's some kind of table outside of the door, outside the pool, if that made sense. If
Yeah,
it helps.
that would
Okay.
be good. Yeah, that would be helpful. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. So I'll make sure that there's some kind of table or something where you could put your glasses on. I'll remind her to if she could do that for you. If you don't see the table there, you could hold on to the glasses and then hand them off if you wanted to. for the kids race. That should be no problem also.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, so when they run out, they run out this way, they run out into the path. There's a little break in the fence over here. You run into transition. Helmet on first. I'm sorry. You might if you don't have a race belt, then you might have to and you want to wear a shirt. So keep in mind you don't have to wear anything extra other than your swim shorts or your swimsuit for the race. However, if it gets a little bit chilly, you want to put a jacket on or a shirt on. And when you do that, you want to make sure you put that on first and then your helmet on because it's going to be very hard to put your shirt on after your helmet on. Okay. So helmet, shoes. Typically, all the kids here are going to be wearing running shoes all for their bike. So you put your running shoes on. Then you could touch your bike. You're going to run in this direction towards the road over here. A path, I should say. Between the trees and there's a bathroom over here. So once you get on the bike, for my 100 meter and 200 meter youth racers, you're going to do one loop, which looks like this. You're going to go out, and then there's going to be a on-ramp coming onto the Park Boulevard, and you're going to ride this all the way down almost to Hempstead Turnpike. But if you reach Hempstead Turnpike, you went too far. There's going to be some cones here and hopefully a volunteer here to make sure that you make a U-turn on this road. All right.
So are we gonna like get on at the mountain line and then we're just gonna loop around and it's gonna be like left and right and then and then like you're gonna get out on the dismount line, like you're gonna get
Yeah,
out.
so I'll get to that. So what's happening is you're gonna run your bike out to Mount Line over here where that red dot is. Okay. It should say Mount, and you're gonna get on your bike after the mountain line, somewhere around here, and you get on the mount. So keep in mind that there might be a lot of kids coming out at the same time. So you could get on the bike anytime after the mountain line. Okay. But try not to get it on before the mountain line. But anytime afterward. Okay. So it's not really a right or left. It's more like a big curve that goes into to this section of the park. It's a big curve that comes around, and then you'll see that this Park Boulevard will make this kind of go this way, and then you'll see if you see Hempstead Turnpike, you went too far, but there should be cones here to make sure that you are not going into heavy traffic. Then you make that it's a big, not really a U-turn, but a big turn to go on the other side of the road. Okay. So it's broken up in two parts. This one goes kind of like north or south, and this one goes north and south. So it's two sections. Trying to make sure that you're not cutting between these little breaks over here that goes to the other side. Just make sure you get to the big turnaround where everybody's turning around and go back to this part of the course, this bike course. And right about here, there's another big U-turn or another turn that you come back and then you go back into transition. You go back towards transition. Okay. And this is where the parking lot is again. So if you see your parking lot, you're in good shape in terms of where you got to come back in from. Okay. So right by where the mountain line is going to be is going to be a dismount line. Now, you want to make sure you get off the bike before the dismount line. So anytime over here, okay? Anytime over here is going to be before the dismount line. Now, you want to get as close as possible because you don't want to run with your bike that far. So if you want to you could get off your bike anytime over here, but the closer you are to the dismount line, and hopefully someone will be there saying, dismount up ahead, dismount up ahead. That means you got to get ready to stop your bike. Okay. And right at dismount line, they'll ask you to just stop your bike and get off. You can't ride into transition. So don't make sure you get off your bike. Don't ride into transition. Somebody's going to definitely stop you if you do try to do that. That's for your safety and everyone else's safety because there's going to be still people coming out of the of transition to go onto the bike. So you want to make sure you get off the bike around here and then run into transition. What you're going to do is rack your bike. Just put your bike back where you found where you took it from. And then you can start your run. Now your run is going to be, let's see here. Okay. Let's see if I get this. So okay. Where you see that start and finish line, that technically is transition. Okay. And she kind of covered where your path is. Hold on. So that start and finish block that I just showed you is right around here. Okay, and then when you start your run, you're gonna park your bike over here somewhere around these trees, right, or on the other side, and then you're gonna run towards this section over here, actually towards the pool, and then there's gonna be a little path that goes along the trees, and then to the other side of the park, which is this section over here. So you're gonna run along the trees and then cross over where the mountain line, this mountain line, you're gonna cross past that, and you're gonna run towards the fence over towards Merrick Road. Merrick Avenue, I should say. And then I run around the fence line here. Okay. For my 100-meter runners, right around here is where you're going to make a right turn. You're going to make a right turn back onto almost the bike course. Almost the bike course, but then you're going to run south to the finish line. And it looks like this. Let me show you. So this is what the finish line will look like. Okay. And so that looks like, yeah, so.
如果还有个烂，请你撞上去，不要再钻下去。
So you run,
Run
so you run over
No,
from
no, yeah, more
transition. Oops.
Yes.
You run along transition.
Mm.
Hold on. Run along transition. Run up. This is for my 100-meter swim. Don't run all the way down to the lake, but run over here. You'll see some signs saying 100-meter swim. Make a right turn. You're gonna make a right turn and then go towards the. Gonna make a right turn here. Cross the grass. Then make another right turn before the bike path, and then to the finish line, which looks like this. Okay. My 200-meter swimmers. My 200-meter swimmers. You're basically going to run almost to this section over here, right around here, to this corner, almost to there's a road over here, almost to there. Then you're gonna make a right turn and follow the path, and then back to the finish line. Okay. My 400-meter swimmers. My 400-meter swimmers. Keep in mind that your bike is 3 loops of this. So basically, what it is, you're gonna come out. You're gonna start your course over here. That's beginning of the bike course. You're gonna run around, right? Hold on. You're gonna ride around. Instead of going back to transition, you're gonna continue on for your second loop, right? And then you're gonna continue on your third loop. On your third loop, then you could return back to transition. Okay. So keep in mind, for my 100-meter swimmers, 100-meter swimmers. So my 100-meter swimmers, you're doing one loop, okay? And you go out. When you come back, that's one loop. My 200-meter swimmers, you're going to go back out, come around, and go back. My 400-meter swimmers, you're going to go out. You're going to go one loop. You're going to go past where you're supposed to come in for transition. You're going to go past that. You're going to go back to this part over here. So now you're on a second loop. Then on your third loop, you're done, and then you come back to transition. Okay? Now with my 400-meter swimmers, my 400-meter swimmers, this is the run course for your race. So again, you come out of transition, you're gonna go around the tree line, cross where the this mountain line is, run towards the fence over here, towards Merrick Avenue, run towards the run towards the lake, follow this path over here. That'll be laid out for you with cones, most likely. Gonna go on the outside of the lake. Right. And then you're gonna make this left turn over here. There's a little hill here. You're gonna go back towards almost like um the bike course itself. I'm gonna make that left turn here. There's gonna be a U-turn on this section. Come down here and make another U-turn. I know it's a little complicated. Keep in mind, this is 2 miles. Gonna make another turn here, make a left turn. U-turn, there's a parking lot here. There you park your car. Then you go back towards the lake and then around, finish off the lake, going back up the hill over here. And then you're gonna run back towards the finish line. I know it looks complicated, but there's going to be a lot of cones out there. Should be volunteers to point you in the right direction. But again, it's your responsibility to make sure you do the course correctly as best you can. And most importantly, you have fun, okay? Does anybody have questions on the distances of the course or the course itself?
Coach, I have a
Yes,
quick
go ahead.
question. Where do you recommend, so Jack's doing the 100-meter swim. Where do you recommend parents try to like hang
Yeah,
out or watch or something?
yeah. It's pretty much the only spot the only spot you get to go. Hold on, let me just pull up the map here. The only spot you really have space for is along this wall, and there's some bleachers over here too. I suggest the wall because then you can run out after you're done.
And on the outside, where do you recommend we hang out? Just
Yeah, so before you get into the pool, you mean? Or you want, I
no,
mean,
no, just like the rest of the race during
oh,
bike
for
and
you.
run.
So
Yeah.
parents, the best place is, let me think. I just want to remember if they had transit, the expo area. The expo area is probably going to be where the finish line is going to be on this side of the park. On this side of the park is where they're going to probably have the set up all the tents. Our Lightning Warriors tent will be around here, by across from the bathrooms, probably right in front of the finish line is where we'll probably park our tent. So you'll see our tent there. I'm gonna put an email out for our Lightning Warriors about what time we're gonna get together to take a picture. But yeah, so for you, once you run out of the pool deck, after you see them swim, you can run towards the outside over here, and then to our tent area here. You just don't want to run into transition with everyone else, with the athletes. You want to stay on the outside of the area.
Perfect.
Hope
Okay.
that helps.
Yeah, it does.
And you'll probably see a bunch of us hanging around. So
Okay.
let me see. I hope that answered some of your questions or all your questions.
Yes.
Anyone else have any questions?
What time does all of this wrap up?
We should probably be done for the kids race. Let me see here. Let me look at the schedule again. So the kids race for the 100-meter swim, they shouldn't take more than a half an hour. Probably like, I want to say 16 minutes, 20 minutes maybe at the max.
Okay.
You should be done before 9 o'clock.
And then
Their race starts at 7:30.
oh, and then
Um,
you just hang out how late for everything to end, or like what do you
yeah, so they
typically
probably
do?
won't, I'm not sure if they're going to do the award. I'm pretty sure they'll probably wait for the awards, at like 10:20. Um, we probably will have for us, we'll probably have the barbecue somewhere. And I'm hoping over here in this section so we don't have to move. But the other area that we were at, we were in this section over here. I forgot which lot it is, but that's to be determined. I'm hoping to stay closer to the finish line,
Mm.
so you don't have to
I
move too much. If you're sticking around.
I have one more question.
Yes.
Are there gonna be like first, second, third awards, like stuff
Yes.
like that?
There'll be a podium there. So make
Okay.
sure you cross all the timing mats.
Okay.
John, do you have a question? And by the way, that's not the most important right now, Jack. All right, just make sure you're
I
fit.
know. I was just wondering because last time they were giving everybody like. That's why I was like everybody the same thing. So that's just why I was wondering.
All right, no problem. I mean, yeah, it's always nice to win an award, but I think it's more important that you come back happy and you don't go to the hospital. How about that? All right,
Sounds
make
good.
sure you're safe. But it happens. Things happen. John, we have a question. Yeah, unmute yourself, buddy.
If you're like, if you like forget the course, are there gonna be people like to guide you?
I hope so. They do have some volunteers out there, and they will help you make sure you go in the right direction. All right. Not too. I don't think we've ever lost any kids. Abigail, you want to have any words of advice for the kids? If she's still on.
No, she had to drop off. I was driving her home from track practice.
Very
So
nice.
she dropped off.
Any words of advice, Anders?
No, I think just have fun. Just make sure you have warm clothes for after the race because we're hanging out. So make sure you have something comfortable to change into. Right. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
And I would say this, bring 2 pairs of shoes, one to like walk around in and one to leave for your transition area. Sometimes you'll be walking around barefoot for a long time and it might be cold. The ground might be a little bit cold. So flip-flops are fine, but definitely have your race shoes on at transition. So bringing something else to wear would make sense. Bring a jacket just in case it's cold in the morning because your race is pretty early, 7:30 start. Sometime around 7 o'clock, we might have a pictures taken. So I wouldn't say 6:50, maybe. Chat with you with the Lightning Warriors. But more importantly, remember, have fun and smile for the cameras because they're taking pictures. And anything else? Anybody else have any last words or questions?
Coach, I just have one more parent related question. The parking area that we're parking in, is that going to be like closed off once like they're getting ready to start the races, or is there any ability to get in and out?
That's a good question.
I don't remember it being blocked, right? Because the bike and the run is all off.
Yeah, I
Other
think there's a
way.
way. I'm pretty sure there's a way out that doesn't interfere with the race course.
Okay.
I'll double check with everybody. I'll double check with Vicky.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Good night, everyone. Just remember, prepare your bikes now. And start packing now a little bit. All right. Thank you very much. Good night.
bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, Noah.
Thank you.
Bye.